Hello everybody, this is September and I'm checking in from both the Hanure server and the PTS. In this video I'm going to cover the new underwear upgrade system, how you get them, and how you upgrade them. Okay, so first, if you're watching this video prior to the 3.0b patch, aka the February update, you'll definitely want to get a pair of underwear made now if you haven't already. This is because the cost to make them now is only 1 cloth mana wisp and 30 warrior's metal. That price is much cheaper than what you're going to find in 3.0b because they're going to cost you either 200 gilda, 100 loyalty, or 200 free-for-all arena medals. After they implement this patch, if you already have a set of underwear, you'll simply be able to convert them to the new type. Now, before I go too much further, I would like to point out, if you are a person that is really familiar with the synthesis system for the costumes, you probably don't need to watch this whole video. But those of you that are new to this system, I'm going to cover everything that you need to know completely. So to make your underwear now, head to a proven warrior workbench. The most accessible ones of those are located in the hero halls, which is Marianople and Ostera. There you'll be able to spend 30 warrior's metal, 1 cloth mana wisp, and 100 labor to craft a set. You can save those underwears until next patch, and you'll simply be able to trade them in for the new type in Mirage Isle. If you happen to be watching this video after the 3.0b patch, the only way to get these underwear is to spend your gilda loyalty or use the medals awarded to you from the free-for-all arenas. Okay, so at this point everybody should understand and have some underwear. If you're using a pair from the old system, the first thing that you need to do is convert them over to the new type. To do so, head over to Mirage Isle and visit the composition workbench seen here in the video. Under the Mirage Isle tab, you'll see a label, Exchange Synthesis Undergarments. This is where you trade your old underwear from the old proven warrior workbench to the new version. And you'll also be able to pick the color you want. There's black, red, or gold. Once you choose a color that you prefer, you can craft them up and you'll be given a pair of the new wrapped underwear. Now, here's a quick tip. These underwear are tradable. So what that means is if you currently have alts on the live server, you can go and take the mana wisp and your labor and your warrior's medals, craft up a few sets of underwear, and then trade them or wait for the patch, upgrade them, and then trade them to your main. That way you can save the warrior's medals on your main. Okay, now you should have a pair of synthesized or synthesizable, is that a word? Underwear. The only thing left to do really here is to unwrap them, choose your archetype, which I'll explain more here in a minute, and then feed them synthesis stones. At this point, if you are familiar with the synthesis on costumes, you can stop watching. But for those of you who are not, let me show you how that works. Choosing your archetype. Try-On for the North America/EU servers has added a unique archetype system to both the costumes and underwear for us. So basically what happens here is as you feed these items synthesis shards, they increase in grades. As they increase in grades, they also get random stats. By choosing an archetype that is most appropriate for your character, you refine the pool of random stats that you can get, hopefully so that you get a more helpful stat for your particular class. So you can actually view these random stats simply by placing a costume or a set of underwear in the synthesis tab, which you can find in your character bag slot, and all you have to do is click this little magnifying glass icon, and from there you can see all the stats that can be applied to your item as you rank it up. Okay, so moving on, how do you rank up your item? To do this, you'll need to use synthesis stones. Where do you get synthesis stones? Well, those actually come from various places. Currently, they are dropping in Prince and Queen's crates. You can also find them on world bosses, dungeon bosses, and even some of the higher level dungeons like Misong Summit. Just the random mobs will drop them. On top of that, if you're on the legacy servers, you can get a bunch of them from the RNG boxes, the pay-to-win boxes. Notably, the current Valentine's Delight box, it actually dropped a truckload of them for me, and there's a video on me opening a bunch of those here on my YouTube channel. But if you're on the Fresh Start server, you don't have access to those, so, you know, There's also been, they've actually also been available in the past from the daily login rewards. And if you're a betting man like me, I bet you next month you'll see them return to the daily login. And finally, currently, but not recommended, you can actually get these stones from the Misagon's Hidden Crate. You can get the Misagon's Hidden Crate for Prestige in 3.0b. And I actually did a complete video on that prior to this video, so if you're interested in looking at those crates as a possible source, please watch the other video. Okay, so you should know where to get these shards so far. Now let's go ahead and get into upgrading your underwear or your costume. What kind of Cynthia stone you need to infuse your underwear depends on the underwear or the costume's grade. At the basic level or the grand level, you'll be using the normal clear Cynthium stones. Once they get to rare or arcane, you'll have to start using the vivid Cynthium stones. Once they get to heroic through divine, you'll actually be using the lucid Cynthium stones. Currently, the max rank for underwear is divine. However, costumes can go up to mythic. So if you're doing a costume, excuse me, if you're doing a costume to mythic, once it gets to the epic level, you're going to have to start using radiant Cynthium stones. Okay, so now let us return back to the Cynthium stones herself. If you've ever found a Cynthium stone from a boss or from a crate, you probably noticed that it is the clear grade or the basic grade. However, as you rank up your underwear or your costume, you actually need higher grade stones. Fear not, there is a way to upgrade your stones. If you go to a alchemy workbench, you'll notice a tab called Synthesis Materials. And here you'll be able to take your stones and level them up with some labor and some mats to the next grade. So to go from a clear stone to a vivid stone, you're going to need 20 Gilded Dust. 20 Gilded Dust is basically 5 Gilded Stars, which you have to break down at an Archeage workbench. Or you can actually buy Gilded Dust from the auction house if that's your thing. So this means each stone that you want to upgrade from basic to vivid is going to cost you 5 Gilded Stars. From there, you can go from vivid to lucid for the cost of another 20 Gilded Dust or 5 Gilded Stars, and you are also at this point going to need a Misagon's Crystal. You can get the Misagon Crystal from the Prestige shop, and it costs you 10 Prestige. Okay, so let's get to upgrading my underwear. Well, it was really unfortunate. I actually recorded me upgrading this this pair of underwear I have to unique, and I was able to show you some of the re-rolling, but I actually forgot to hit the record button. So unfortunately, what we have here now is I'm at a unique set of the undergarments, and so what has happened is I progressively use the clear, then the vivid, and then now I'm at unique, so I have to be using the lucid stones. And so let's go ahead and take a look at that. And it gets progressively more stones. So like at basic grade, I only had to use 4. And then at rare, I had to use 8. And then at arcane, I had to use like 12 and then 16. Now up to unique, I'm having to use 24, and these are the lucids. I actually don't have enough stones to actually go through the process again, so you'll have to bear with me and kind of follow me as this happens. So I'm going to go ahead and plug all these in here. You have to use 2 at a time, just like the cloaks and just like the costumes. It always takes 2 stones. So you just feed these guys in, and you'll notice as you feed in, you're basically putting more XP into the garment, and you'll see that as you put more XP in there, you get these bonus percentages. And right now I have received ranged damage. I don't know what that means. I would assume that's a decrease, but I'm going to go ahead and change that as soon as we get to the next level here, so you can see how the reroll works as you level. Not the serendipity, but this is the reroll as you level. So once it gets to the next grade, almost there. And the last 2. Okay, so here this menu pops up and it says keep and improve current effects, or you can pick one of these and re-roll it. So I'm going to pick change received range damage. And you'll see down here it says received range damage replace. And then we'll get the pop-up as the grade increased to celestial. I changed my receive range damage. Actually, I went worse to shield defense penetration rate, which that doesn't help me as a mage because I'm using magic anyway. But anyway, that is how that works. So I actually will these actually go up to divine. So with another 200, you can see the XP is 200 or 2800. 0 of 2800. So that basically tells me I know each stone is worth 100. That means I need 28 stones to get it to divine. And when I do that, I'm going to actually re-roll that shield defense penetration rate one more time. So there you go. The final thing that I need to talk about is Serendipity Stones. If you find yourself with a set of underwear or a costume that has a stat that you're not particularly happy with, there is the ability to re-roll that, and you're going to need a Serendipity Stone. Okay, so where do you get these stones? Well, there's two spots that I can tell you about. The first being the login vendor in the Mirage Isle. It's the big golem or the mech-looking guy. He will give you a bound Serendipity Stone for 1 login badge. The second source is from those Mysagon crates, and it is a very, 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 very rare drop, but you can get a tradable a tradable Serendipity Stone from the Mysagon's hidden crate. I also need to warn you that that if you re-roll a stat, there is, of course, a chance that you're going to get a stat that's actually worse. So use those things wisely. Okay, so there you have it. This is a complete look at the upgrading underwear and to a lesser degree costumes. I hope that you found this video not only helpful but also informative. And if you want to support me to continue to make videos like this, you can definitely subscribe to me or like this video. You can also follow me on Twitch, Twitter, or Patreon. I also am always interested in hearing from my viewers. So if you have ideas about new video types, please, just let me know. Until next time, September saying, be well.